All right, we're gonna do this, and then I'll just edit it out. So I'm gonna introduce it, and then we can start.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay. So minute six is when I need to go back to. All right. Hey, this is Big J coming at you with a new media sports group. Okay. So basically, it's gonna be called Big J's National Media Sports Group, and we'll talk all sports. And right now, I'll still have Stiller Nation Midwest, but we're gonna do another podcast off of that. And today is our first one. I'll have coaches. I'll have basketball coaches. I'll talk about boxing. I'll talk about anything sports related. We'll talk about. But right now, we're going to talk about the Kansas City Chiefs. I don't have my notes in front of me. I wrote them down, but I'll call you after you score on. I'll tell you why I can't get to it. But we're going to talk about the Chiefs first. So the Super Bowl is tomorrow evening. I remember when I was a kid, man. It used to be in afternoons. I mean, remember that?
Yeah, I feel like it used to like 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon is when they played the game.
Yeah. And then the halftime wasn't that long. The halftime wasn't that. So now it's like a big event. But let's talk about the Chiefs. Go ahead, man. I'll let you start that off.
Yeah, so I kind of echo what you said. Is the Super Bowl is really it's morphed into kind of almost the biggest show on TV every single year. It certainly does the highest ratings, the most viewers watching it. It's become, in our part of the country, it's become almost like, oh yeah, well the Chiefs will play, like almost like another week for the Chiefs fans. And I've kind of been encouraging people around me, including my son and some of the kids that I teach and coach, like, don't get used to this. This doesn't happen all the time. They're on a pretty historic run right now, and it's important to kind of keep that in mind that this run, they could still have Mahomes, and they might only go to one more in the next decade, like, because that's a very real thing, and just kind of happens that way. I know, like, as a Steelers fan, like it's been a minute since you guys have kind of been back to that, and I think sometimes we kind of fall too comfortable with just how special kind of this run is right now. And I'm pretty excited. I'm excited for the game. I think it's going to be a really good game. It's definitely two very contrasting styles of both offense and defense. We'll kind of get into that here in a little bit, of just what both teams are trying to do to one another and what both teams are trying to do to stop the other one, because it's very, very different. And yeah, no, I'm very, very excited, and I'm trying to soak it all in and trying to enjoy it as much as possible, kind of leading up to it. I'll admit I haven't paid much attention to the interviews and the media and stuff. Like, that was cool, like the first couple times, but I don't care. I saw a lot of stupid questions and a lot of just ridiculousness, and it's just like all these stations are trying to get their little slant in and whatnot. And that's okay. I think that's what makes the Super Bowl special, is kind of everybody focusing on this, even if you're not a football fan.
Right. So. It's a big event. I mean, you look at it, when you watch the game, it's star-studded. It's like Jay-Z and Taylor Swift, that level of entertainer.
Yeah.
And I've been saying this, and you probably agree with me, they're pricing the real fan out of the game.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Yeah. It's not Chiefs fans versus Eagles fans at this game. I think those two fan groups represent about a third, and then it's 2/3 of rich, wealthy, other people just attending the event to go see it. I mean, like, I don't got that kind of money to go. No way. So
no, and the only way I would get to see it is because my oldest daughter lives in Phoenix, Arizona. So if they ever play in Arizona, Pittsburgh gets, as far as housing, I'll be good.
Yeah.
But I probably wouldn't go to the game. I'll just go to some type of event and watch it, because the tickets will still be too high.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
But I think the Chiefs, they are on a historical run, and we're used to that in Pittsburgh, but not lately, like you said.
Sure.
But and fans do get used to it.
Mm-hmm.
And what happens when their team starts to lose again because of free agency, and it's just one of those things. Because it's not like I say basketball. When back in the day when the Celtics won 11 champ, that's hard to do.
They went on quite a run in the 60s and 70s. So.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah.
But it's just part of it. I mean, you're going to enjoy it while you can, and you got a great quarterback. He's probably going to go down right now as the best one right now in this era.
Yeah,
no doubt. Because he just wins.
Yeah,
and he can make all the throws. He just got a knack for it. I mean, you think they're down, you think you got them. Like when I was watching that Buffalo game, nah, it's just that there's something about him, man. And it was a great draft pick.
Yeah.
So, and Andy Reid and the scouting department and Veach, they seen something and hopped on it.
Yeah.
I mean, and they got a gem.
Yeah. I think the underrated thing about him is he actually is a better running quarterback than most people give him credit for.
Mm-hmm.
Like I remember I saw this tweet years ago, and I always think of this. He is 0.1 miles per hour faster than he needs to be at every given moment. And if you watch his runs, there's always somebody right at his heels, but he's just quick enough to get by him, or just quick enough to kind of skate through or slide through. And I don't think. I mean, in the world of professional athletes, especially NFL players, everybody on that field's fast. So 4.7 is not fast, but I think it's kind of sneaky quick sometimes that he's able to, and he does certainly run more in the playoffs than he does in the regular season. I think there's times in the regular season where he'll take a chance on the throw, or he'll slide down, or he'll check down. Where in the playoffs, he'll run the football. And I think there's a guy that always tweets out about how if you take away their quarterback kneel downs, he's historically good at running the football. Like he's averaging 6.5, 7 yards a carry for his career running the football, just in scramble situations. Because obviously we don't have a lot of design runs. Although we did see that was quite a run he had against Buffalo. That they ran that little, it looked Raven-esque. They ran like a little zone read, and they just did such a good job of executing it, and they blocked it up and everything. But
they shock people. Yeah, they shock people with that.
Yeah,
because he doesn't. They don't try to put him in harm's way.
No, and they shouldn't.
Right. But on the offensive side, y'all got some good receivers. The Chiefs have good receivers.
Yeah.
I mean, they get it done. I mean, they're not the. I mean, I think there's better groups, but their group works best together.
Yeah.
And I think that's what it is. They got a chemistry with Mahomes and Kelsey. Juju comes in, he can hurt you.
Yeah.
Brown, Anthony, what's the name? Hollywood Brown.
Yeah.
Worthy, of course. I mean,
he's come on, man. He's been a revelation the second half of the season. He's been really, really good.
And then the backfield is solid.
Yeah.
I mean, it's solid. It's a solid backfield. I mean, they're not going to rush for 1,000 yards because they don't get the carries.
No.
But they get it done.
Yeah.
So,
and I think their O-line is underrated too. Their interior three, and I'm going to include Tooney in this for the time being, just because he's really a guard playing tackle. Those three are as good as any team in the league. I mean, I'll take those three over any interior three that anybody else has to offer. Where the trouble kind of has been, and we talked about before, is the left tackle position. The right tackle, Jawan Taylor, I don't know. He gets a lot of hate because he had the false starts, and they were talking about him being lined up too far, and that was kind of a whole big talking point last year. But he's quietly been really, really good in the playoffs the last 2 years. I mean, he just doesn't give up pressures. He turns into kind of what they thought they were getting when they paid him free agent dollars, and then so Tooney kicking out obviously hurts the interior. But man, I saw the stat the other day. he only allowed one pressure in the 2 playoff games. Granted, I think the Bills and the Texans are the Bills especially, but they don't have elite rushers, but the Texans do. I mean, they had 2 pretty good edge rushers, so for him to be able to jump out there and still play at a pretty high level, I think they've just done a really good job of you know, they tried to make the left tackle position work and 3 different guys, and finally just said heck with it and kicked Tooney out there, and it's been pretty good. I think they did that for the Steelers week was the first game they've done that, and I think there's no coincidence that their offenses looked quite a bit better. Obviously, Hollywood coming back was huge too, but if you can't protect the quarterback, like
it starts up front.
Yeah, we'll get into that here in a minute, but that's kind of like the key. I've got some kind of keys to the game we can talk about, and one of them is Eagles pass rush versus Chiefs pass pro. Like that's a huge part for me.
That's big. I mean, they got to be able to protect, and Philadelphia's and switching up a little bit. Philadelphia's defensive line, we all know about that.
Yeah,
I mean, they're very athletic. They're aggressive.
Yeah.
It's hard to get them out of their lanes.
Brandon Graham's coming back too. Like that's a big deal.
Yes, yes, I seen that this morning.
Yeah,
he came back up. But how many weeks was he gone? I mean,
week 11 or week 12 is when he went down.
Okay, and it's been 2 weeks since.
I think you're going the same place I'm going. Is how effective is this guy going to be coming back to this game? I think asking him to do more than just straight come in rush the passer. I think they're probably going to try to use him as a third down pass rusher situation, and I think that's about all you can realistically ask a guy to do who's missed 2 months. He's a pro and he's good and he's played in the league a long time, so I think he probably handle it better than most. But man, it's just human beings. There's got to be some rust there. There's got to be
always
not performing at quite the level, but still they've got. My opinion, they still got the second best defensive lineman in football. Obviously, I'm biased, Chris Jones, but number 2, Jalen Carter, he's a dude, and
he's a man.
That's you know what? If I could just simply watch Jalen Carter versus Trey Smith the whole game, that would be an amazing thing to watch because you talk about he is the number 1 free agent offensive lineman. He's going to reset the guard market versus the guy who's eventually going to reset the defensive line market, and they're going one-on-one all game. And man, that's exciting to watch that. As a Chiefs fan, obviously, I wish I was, didn't care as much and I could focus more on that. But that's going to be a war up front, those two. Because
it's going to be hard for you to focus. Because you're watching the game
for sure.
But they got all 22, so you can get that later.
No, I trust me. I'll go back and I'm a reporter. I'll go back and watch it. So
and I'm gonna try to get that edited into our podcast. That'd be nice. On a certain days, if I can, I'll figure it out. But and so we can both view it on a podcast.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, I'll do that with you.
Yeah. So that'd be nice. But Philadelphia, they're picked to win this.
Yeah, I don't know. I've seen the line kind of go back and forth. I honestly, Coach, it's as close to a toss-up game as I've kind of seen in the Super Bowl. Like, I feel like last year there was a lot of picking against the Chiefs. I feel like they were the underdog because they were kind of just barely getting by through the playoff. They had to go on the road twice, but I don't know. I've seen the line go from net -1.5 to +1.5 to -1. It just keeps going back and forth. So I think it truly is just a pick 'em. Like
it's a pick 'em game.
Turnovers and stuff aside, I can see a scenario where both teams come out and outplay the other one and win. Like I really can see that. I don't think this is a layup game by any means. Like obviously I feel good from the Chiefs' point of view, but as an Eagles fan, how do you not feel good? I mean, you're 14-3 and you kind of
14-2. 14-3.
Yeah. So
they got a good team. I mean, the only thing, this is what, if the Chief fans, if they got to worry about anything, is Saquon breaking off long runs.
Yep.
That could be a killer.
100%.
And he's capable of doing it. He's done it. So
the Chiefs DBs are one of the better tackling groups as far as secondary players. They do a really good job of tackling, but also tackling Saquon and tackling, I don't know, pick another
Your
running
average
back.
back.
Yeah,
Right.
it's him and Derrick Henry. I feel like are kind of a cut above everybody else right now as far as broken tackles. McCaffrey's good, but kind of a different kind of good.
Yeah, he's
He's not
smaller
really,
than him too.
yeah, he's not running over people good.
No.
So yeah, it's a it's a fun matchup for sure because yeah, Barkley had what 10 plus 60-yard runs, which is an NFL record. I mean, that's good. You can't ignore that.
You can't ignore it at all. I mean, and it's not like it's a fluke. He's doing it all the time.
Yeah, yeah,
So that tells me something about their offensive line, but a lot of it too is him. I mean, sometimes we say they couldn't get that done without the offensive line. That's true with him, but a lot of it is him.
Yep, agreed.
He's just a dynamic running back. It's going to be a problem if he gets loose a little bit. And then you got Jalen Hurts. They were talking about this the other day, that they felt that Jalen Carter should dump down a lot more to Saquon because he's a really good pass catcher out the backfield.
Yeah,
and they haven't utilized that a lot because Jalen runs. So instead of him passing it, he takes off. So that, I mean, it's working for them. It's working, but I think they may need to do a little bit of that. Yeah, I mean, because Chris Jones and I like Bolton, man. Bolton, they're good, and I think if anybody can track him down and Spagnuolo, his system, his game plan, I can't wait to see that. Okay, because I know he got something up his sleeve, man, and I know he's gonna have something for Saquon. Whether it works or not is one thing. Because you got to deal with what's the name? Brown,
AJ
receiver,
Brown, Devontae
Smith, Hurt. They got some weapons. Then they got the other kid, wide receiver. Was it Weston?
Westbrook,
Westbrook or something like that.
Yeah.
And he's like a secret weapon because you can dump to him or he can get you deep too. So
yeah.
But with the Chiefs, you got Chris Jones, man. He handles, like you said, he handles his business too, and I can see why you say that that's not a far reach for you to say that he's one of the best linemen in the league. I mean, because he's earned that.
Well, for years I thought he was second best, and then when Aaron Donald finally retired, because Aaron Donald's I've told you this before. Aaron Donald's the best D lineman I think we've seen in the National Football League
in a long time,
in decades. He was historically good. So calling Chris Jones the second best is not a shot. And I think Jalen Carter has a chance. I mean, he's a lot younger, obviously, but I think Jalen Carter has a chance to kind of be the next Chris Jones, like the next kind of dominant interior guy. Because I mean, Chris Jones he's 30. Like his career, his peak of his career is on the twilight. I think he's still got a few good years left, but I don't think he's going to be a guy that's still around in another 5-6 years playing at this high level. So Jalen Carter maybe next man up.
It could be done. I look at Cam Hayward. I mean, he's 30. He'll be 36.
Yeah,
and he's still pushing that pocket. So. And making run stops, and he's just a man.
I still think he can be high quality. I still think Chris Jones has a place on a team. I'm just not sure he's getting double teamed at like a 33% rate right now, just like obscene. I mean, and that's what Aaron Donald used to be that way. Except Aaron Donald would beat double teams at a higher rate than anybody else too, so it didn't even matter. And
you could
Chris
double
Jones is still doing a great job of that for sure, but just the act of getting double teamed is kind of what the Chiefs need, is what Spags asked him to do. So
he just and I'm switching to Spags. Spagnolia is a really good DC man, and that call he made against Buffalo with the blitz, late game.
How about bringing everybody. A corner blitz on fourth down, huh?
Wow.
Yeah.
You talk about gambling.
He loves if you watch the Eagles game, if they run any kind of condensed sets where they bring wide receivers in real tight, a corner blitz is coming. It will happen because that's kind of his answer and that's his thing, and he loves to do that.
You just don't know where it's coming from.
You just don't. Yeah, and I give the Chiefs a lot of credit, their players, that they executed that at an extremely high level because
that was feast or famine.
Yeah. Well, and you watch it like Kincaid's open, like he's wide open, and he's running down by himself, and it didn't matter because they were already in his face. And if he slides it the other way, you got a big play. All of a sudden, they're already in field goal range, and we're having a different conversation about, well, this game's going overtime again, best case. So, the other thing about Spags I think is a little underrated is, do you know, since the Chiefs started their run, I read that this week, since they started their run, he has yet to allow a 100-yard rusher in the playoffs.
Whoa.
And that's with, we saw Derrick Henry one year, and, we saw the Eagles a couple years ago, and then we've seen the 49ers. Like, he just, I think I would suspect they're throwing all their eggs into, let's stop Saquon, let's try to get them behind the sticks, and let's try to send some pressure, because Jalen Hurts is not good against pressure. He is the worst quarterback in the NFL against pressure. And if they can get him to 3rd and long, I think they feel like they can make him turn it over, because the Eagles passing game, it's weird because they got dudes. They've got 2 good receivers. They got a good tight end. You said they got a good back out of the backfield. But Jalen Hurts just wasn't great this year at just straight drop back passing. It wasn't a great year for him. And so that's what I think. If kind of getting into the Chiefs' recipe to win is kind of that on defense, and then on offense, move the change, keep the pass rush off of you, and I think the Eagles are going to let them have yards. They're going to let them drive the ball. They're just going to try to make them kick field goals, and Chiefs got to get 6, not 3, most of the time. So
I figure watching doing these podcasts, I've studied other teams, and the Chiefs. I know they're everybody's Eagles, but I don't know, man. That history thing, I think that has a lot to do with it. People might say, "Oh, that don't matter. They got to play," but I don't know. I think the Chiefs it's just destined. I do believe that, and I don't mind it because we're not there.
Yeah, right. Well, yeah, it doesn't affect us.
But don't make me any difference. But as far as them, I've been through a dynasty.
Yeah.
When I was a kid.
Yeah.
And it felt so good. But I was a little kid watching. Man, I remember. Man, let me tell you this quick story. This is for everybody. I had not watched any football. Didn't know anything much about football, and I was maybe 8, something like that. I don't know. I was young, and I remember they were in the Super Bowl. I didn't know what my family was talking about. I just, listening, and they all left, and I guess I probably went to Super Bowl parties. So I sat there and I started watching the game, but I didn't know what I was really watching. But I know everybody was happy. My dog is going crazy. Can you hear him? But
the Super Bowl.
But I'm watching this game, and I'm like, instantly I became a Steelers fan.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, and my grandmother, she's like, that's our team. That's the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I'm like, oh, okay. I got more involved and started watching. And every year after that, I remember the next year they played the Cowboys. So I'm like, I'm expecting it. I'm expecting them to go to the Super Bowl every year, because my first time watching football, they won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I expect that.
Yeah.
And then basically they won Super Bowl 10, beat the Cowboys. Then when they lost to the Raiders for Super Bowl 11, all those injuries they had, everybody was like, I'm like, what happened? Like you were telling your son. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't happen. Enjoy this.
Yeah.
And,
His
and
Chiefs fandom started the year they lost to Tom Brady in the AFC Championship game. So he doesn't know life without an AFC Championship game as a Chiefs fan. And
so that's what he knows.
Yep.
And that's how you build a great fan base.
Yeah, it is for sure. For sure.
And because we grew up, you didn't root for. I mean, we had some guys root for the different teams because they like players.
Yeah.
But most of everybody in Pittsburgh, you still a fan. And at that time, that dynasty, we were rocking the league. I mean, beating everybody.
Yeah. I think you guys can make a case you were the best team in the 70s for sure.
Oh, definitely. There's no hands down.
Yeah.
It was us and the Cowboys. The Cowboys.
Yeah, so, I think you won more titles than they did in the 70s.
We beat them.
Yeah,
we beat them. But yeah, so I think the Chief fans are going to get their wish. I know we got analytics to talk about, but I just think it's not going to matter. I'll be shocked if Kansas City struggles with Philadelphia. Let's say that.
Yeah, no, I think that's probably fair. I think it's I don't know. Again, there's been so much guys talking about this, and I think with Twitter, you kind of get lost with all the different takes and stuff and whatnot. But I think you can make a case that the Eagles are better at every position except quarterback and coach, and that might be enough. I think their quarterback discrepancy is vastly different. Obviously, I don't think anyone's going to argue that Jalen Hurts is better than Patrick Mahomes. I think the difference between those two might be huge. And then the other one's the coaching. Like, I think Andy Reid, he knows how to win games like this. Like, he just finds a way and he gets his team ready, and seems like they don't ever have a situation they're not really prepared for. And I mean, and Spags kind of falls in that too, but yeah, they just do such a good job of prepping their guys and just being ready, putting their guys in good spots. And then like against the Bills, for instance, they'll bring out stuff you haven't seen all year. Like they're running, they're running a pistol with 3 running backs. I mean, obviously tight end, but they got 3 guys in the backfield with Mahomes, and they're running Baltimore Ravens zone read stuff because they know the Bills will struggle with that. So I do think, you're going to see some stuff on Sunday that maybe we haven't seen before because I think
purposely done.
I think they've been saving some stuff. I think there's some stuff in the hopper still that you might see. I can't say enough good things just kind of about the coaching staff there. They just have those guys just ready to go, and they just do a really, really good job for sure. So,
and I think anytime Andy Reid gets a chance to play Philadelphia, he may never admit it.
Yeah, he won't, but he wants to stick it to him. You're right. I know where you're going with this. Yeah. That's human being, man. Like that's nature. Like you and I, like, I mean, we won't say names right now, but when we used to both coach at UA, there was a school or two that we were really okay if we beat. Like you could lose a lot of games, but if you beat that team, the years looks
makes it better.
Yeah,
makes it better. But I think it's going to be a really good Super Bowl. I do think everybody will enjoy themselves. I think I get to watch it without being stressed. So So I get to. But I wanted to get on here and talk about that. But Heffley, I'm gonna have you on here more, and this all sports conversation. All things sports. This is something. This is nothing to do with the Stiller Midwest. Okay, so we're going to shake it up a little bit. We'll be able to talk. We'll be able to add what me and you discuss.
I'm here for Luka Anthony Davis trade.
Yes,
because
matter of fact, big time trade,
dude. Like I don't get it. For the life of me, I don't get it. Like, but anyway, that's another day. Like we can talk about that.
Tired of Luka down in Dallas.
How? Like how? Why would you do that?
Because he won't stay in shape. He won't stay in shape.
Okay, but he took you to the finals last year. Like,
I know, but there's a new regime. Mark Cuban sold his majority interest, so he's not running anything.
Man. Well, it clearly shows when you make idiotic trades like that. I mean, man.
Yeah. So
man.
that was a big trade. Yeah, and they did that in the wee hours of the morning.
I remember. So I still caught that trade the other night, and the guy who breaks it, his name's Shams now. That's his first name. He's the insider now, and he tweeted it. And about 20 minutes later, "This is not a joke. I have not been hacked. This is actually happening." Because everybody was kind of like, "What?"
Yeah, like, is that true?
What is it? Like, and there's a lot of NBA trades, and I'll admit I'm not super well versed enough in the league to talk about every single one of them. But that one, again, I've had several days to think about it. I've read some stuff on it, and at the end of it, I still am just very like, huh? Like, that makes no sense. Like,
hey, and before I got on here, I was watching the Lakers Dallas game.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry, I take that back. The Mavericks. Who were they playing?
Yeah, I don't know who they were playing, but yeah, and AD was balling out, and then what happened?
20-some points and got hurt.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Then what happens? Well, exactly what happens.
Soft tissue.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll talk basketball and all that. Yeah. We'll get all that. We'll get into that. But as far as other sports, I started a media group with that podcast underneath it. So it's like the child of Big J's National Media Sports Group. So, but we'll have the podcast. We'll have the All Conversation Sports. We'll have Steelers Nation Midwest. If you will want to do if you have the time, we'll discuss what you want to do. If there's something an idea that you got. Yeah. And I don't mind airing this right now because it's new. So, and I want people, I'm promoting it. So basically, we're going to have different podcasts underneath that media group.
Yeah.
So, and it'll be good, man, because we can branch out.
Yeah.
We can branch out. But I know you got to go.
Yeah.
I know you got to go. I will call you. I will call you if you see my settings a little different behind me. There's a reason behind that.
Yeah.
And I'll call you and I'll tell you what happened. But I'm gonna finish this podcast. If you got to run, I know. Mama come first.
Yeah. Well, let's before we run. Got predictions. We got to do predictions.
Go ahead.
So, I'm going to give you my prediction. My prediction is Chiefs 27, Eagles 24. Here's my rationale behind it because I've spent a lot of time looking at stuff more than I should. Kind of shared a lot of this already. Mahomes is 15-0 in domes as a career starter. He's never been beaten in domes, and I think that's enough data where you can say there's something to that. And also, two other things. Number one, Barkley, 1,500 of his yards came against bottom 10 defenses.
Whoa.
He only averaged 90 yards rushing a game against top 15 defenses, and the Chiefs are ranked 9th. So that's a little behind that. And also, the Eagles have played the easiest schedule for pass defenses. We're using a pass efficiency metric, which I could go into the nerd of that, but they've played the easiest schedule. The Chiefs have played the 4th toughest schedule using the same metric. So, everything can change. Turnovers change everything. Saquon breaks off 250-plus yard runs. Obviously, this is all moot, but I do like the Chiefs. I like Spags. I like his ability to game plan. I like his ability to get pressure, and I think the offense is going to do just enough to score just enough. And I think the Chiefs kick a field goal with less than a minute left and win the game 27-24.
So you think the kicker? It'll come down to the kicker.
I do. Yeah, I do. And I like the Chiefs kicker. He's good.
Philadelphia's special teams is nowhere near as good as Philadelphia's. I looked at that.
Kicker, I don't know. Philadelphia fan might be able to tell more on this. I don't understand for the life of me why Jake Elliott is still kicking for them.
Yeah, me either.
He's 1 of 8 from 50 yards, which people, that's a tough kick. Well, NFL kickers make 70% of 50-yard kicks anymore. So,
yes.
and they don't even try kicks over 50 yards very much. They just as soon go for it. And a lot of fans love the go for it. Man, there's something to be said about taking 3 points. Like,
take that money. That's $3.
And Andy Reid catches a lot of crap for taking 3 points, and then at the end of the game, it's like, oh, cool, we won by 2, and
that's all that matters.
It is, yeah, no, it is. So, but anyways, hey, looking forward to the game, and looking forward to doing more of these with you. All right,
we'll do one Tuesday.
Yeah,
so
sounds good.
Tuesday, we'll talk about it. You know, I'll call you up.
Sounds good.
All right, man.
All right, take care, Coach.
Take it easy. Yep. So, Guru Ryan Heffley, my side guy, he's going to be joining me on the majority of these dual podcasts, and he's going to assist me. So we'll talk about all sports, like I said, and this is new. So basically, we're gonna work it out as far as the conversation for all sports conversation. So, hey, enjoy your weekend. Those who are on the game, or watching the game, or going to the game, have a good time. Don't drink too much. Don't drink. All right. I got my reasons, but hey, just enjoy the game, man. Enjoy the game, and watch whoever you're rooting for. I think the Chiefs will pull it out. A couple of weeks ago, I said Philadelphia, but after just looking at stats like Heffley said, things of that nature, I do agree. I think they'll pull this one off, and the Diners they'll go down in history as first team to ever did it, 3-0 in the Super Bowls, 3 straight. So, Detroit Chief fans, enjoy yourself. The other thing is too, I want to promote I got invited to be a guest on KCAA radio in Los Angeles. My first guest spot. So it's the Farron Dozier show in LA. There's other ways to stream it. I have it on my Facebook page. As far as the information, it's like YouTube and streaming live on Instagram. Also, FarronDozier.com. You can get it on there. Or if you're in California, you can listen to it on AM or a radio station. But the banner is on my page, on my Big J page, and also on my regular Facebook page, in my Instagram, in my thread. It's all on there. So tune in tomorrow night, man, after the Super Bowl. So the podcast starts at 8 o'clock Central Time. It'll be 10 o'clock. So it's 8 o'clock Pacific Time, 8 o'clock, and then 10 o'clock Central. So follow me on that. And this podcast is ending, and y'all have a good Sunday. Thank you.